Seated in the garage or the Venezuelan guy?
Yeah, in a minute.
He's muted.
I have everybody muted right now, so
You can unmute it right this minute if you want.
just leave it right now. I don't want to talk to everybody.
Okay. I'm going. Are you still muted or not?
No.
Oh, no.
Hi, do you hear me?
Hey, Sue. Okay. Got plenty of light, Sue. That's good.
Yeah, I've been bouncing all over the house with my camera trying to see how I look. All right.
Sue, talk. I don't hear you. You're not muted.
Okay. I'm not muted. I'm talking. Can you hear me? No? That's odd. Wait a minute. My volume is up.
You know, to come in and introduce themselves and tell you what we would be doing for the board and for Grandview. I just want to make a little thing of our platform. And really, I want to reiterate something that we put in our platform that everybody should understand. We are not seeking, and we are not, and I'm saying in big letters, not seeking to spend extreme amounts of anybody's money, yours or our money. We do not want to do that. We want to plan and stick as closely as possible to the budgets we have. And also, we want to come up with a new reasonable budget that really is a realistic budget, not a fake budget that always comes out every year and the budget is the same number for 3 years in a row. At the same time, we want to improve the areas of Grandview so that require attention, and we need to put the attention to and ask everybody for help. The board will, as we want it, is to be inclusive, not exclusive. We want to be an inclusive board. We want everybody to be involved. Every owner, we would like to be involved in every type of a process. We want to be transparent to everybody so that everybody understands what we're doing and understands where our funds are going. Also, we feel that we want to set up committees for people to do things around here and make it more of a community atmosphere. We want to have, even though building captains are set up now, but we don't even know who the building captains are at this point in time. We would like different things to happen here and make things better. And be more transparent to get maintenance done properly, get things happening that has to get done here of all kinds. And we're going to ask everybody's help and everybody's input if we get onto the board. And we feel that everybody is involved here because everybody is an owner of this condo. It's not just one person or 5 people that think they own it. It's everybody that owns it. It's your money, my money, everybody's investment. So I just want everybody to understand this, that's where we're coming from. And some things have been said that we weren't, but that's what it is. We're not here to do that kind of a person thing. So I'm going to introduce different people right now. And those are the 6 candidates. And the first person I'd like to introduce is Mitch Wisner. And Mitch, I'm going to ask you to unmute so you can unmute yourself. All right, and that's Mitch Wisner. And he will be speaking and tell you a little bit about himself. It's only 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That's all we're doing right now. Go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch Wisner. I moved in about 1 year ago. I bought my unit, and I think this place is phenomenal. I came to Florida a little over 50 years ago as a child with my parents and family, and my parents were in the interior design business, and I worked for them from childhood on till adulthood, doing not just delivering and bookkeeping, but also design and project management. I eventually left them when I was in my 20s and was the youngest furniture salesman and interior designer ever hired by Bloomingdale's. And I opened several of their stores in South Florida and worked for them until on and off, because I did leave for a few years, until I retired about 2 years ago. In addition, I did many things on the side while I was working in my career, including I am a comedian, but I'm also very serious. And I performed all over, including Las Vegas and New York and California and all the hot spots. I've also served on on the boards of and the committees for many nonprofit organizations, including ones founded by either myself or my parents, but also founded big ones like AmFAR, if you're familiar with that, My Temple, and et cetera. It is something that I've always been interested in, involved in. I like to give back, and those are all most all of those were volunteer positions. Of course, I've done real estate, buying and selling properties and managing rentals for myself, for my family. I've done a lot of, on the side, I'm an art collector. I volunteer for Miami Jewish Film Festival, for instance. And I've got a lot of experience in organizations, nonprofits, including grant writing and applying for grants, things that we can be doing as well for this community. I collect toy cars, I collect art. Those are the basics. There's far more to it than that, but we only have 2 minutes. And I want to just tell you, as we've mentioned, we need to be in the 21st century. We need to have a computer, a web a server that everybody can access at any time, so that they can get all the information they need about living here, about what kind of screening you need to get to replace the screening if it's ripped, the floor mount, the undermount, et cetera, et cetera. We also need full transparency. This website will have everything on there so that everybody who lives here and who pays their maintenance fees can see how their money is being spent. I think all of us agree about that. We are not in that position now. It is something we really must do. We also need to not be penny wise and pound foolish. I just wanted to tell you who I am. I'm more than happy to speak to anybody about this. And when you get our resumes, my phone number and my email address are on them. And please feel free to contact me or ask me questions when you see me or anywhere else. Thank you very much.
Okay, the next one will be Dorina. Where's
Yes,
Dorina?
I'm here. Hi,
Okay,
everyone.
Dorina.
Hi. So good evening, everyone. So my name is Dorina Varsamis. I've been a resident here since 2009. I am a mother of a 15-year-old daughter. Many of you probably know my dad. His name is John Popa. He works with security. I will recuse myself if anything does occur with the situation, but I don't think we'll have any issues with that. He's been employed as a security manager here, I think, since 2004. My background is Yugoslavian, Romanian, so I speak a number of languages and also Greek. So that's who I am. As far as what I do, so I've been in education for over 25 years. I've taught in New York City Public Schools, Dade County Public Schools, and currently in Broward County Public Schools. I've taught every single grade level, believe it or not, K through 12, and I'm an adjunct professor as well. I hold a doctorate degree in education and 2 masters. My current job is with Broward County Public Schools. I oversee an $8 million budget for federal funds. and I do program oversight. So what we do is we build capacity. We build capacity based on the needs, customer service. We do a lot of surveys. We put out a needs assessment. We implement the needs that they have, and we do progress monitoring. We ensure that we have transparency. We ensure that we have accountability. We ensure that we do a return on investment. So for every project we do, we are transparent that we are actually looking at the budget, and we're looking at the impact that budget has. If we feel that we've spent too much money on a particular project, we know for next year that we need to reduce it, modify it, or omit it from next year's budget. We've been under budget, and we've had rollovers for the last 4 years that I've had the honor to serve in that position. So why am I running at this point? Usually I just told Joan, you probably do see me by the pool. I tend to keep to myself. I love the pool. I love the water. I love the community. I love our location. I think there is just so much to where we live that I enjoy coming home. And I would like to see that for everybody. This should be a happy place for everyone. We are only good as our weakest link. And I do believe that we are here to serve, neighbors for neighbors. I am not part of the committee that Corey was talking about, so I'm not part of that platform, but I do agree with a lot of the things that they're saying. I am not here to point fingers on old, new, or future directors, board members. What I like to do is build that capacity. And I'd like to ensure that when people come home saying, this is my happy place, I'd like for us to really reach out to a lot of, I call them customers. That's what really are. We're the clients, and we're here to serve them. So with my background, what I would like to see is definitely more transparency, effective communication. I do like the idea of the website, but I think we are at a point where there's social media. I think that we should have a Facebook. I think that there are things that we need to update consistently. There's a way to manage Facebook, when we do have disgruntled people that would like to post certain things. So there's ways to manage that. I think we have to have some sort of a beginning needs assessment. Ask the people that live here, what would you like to see? What's your input? Hear their voice. I think there needs to be quarterly updates with regards to the projects that are happening and where are we with each of the projects. I think there needs to be different committees, social committees, volunteer committees. We have a plethora of people who have a lot of experience and who can volunteer, who could help, and allow it to be a community. And that's what really our Grandview should be, a large community. And that is seen as it takes a village, and we're here to serve in that capacity. So as I think Mitch had indicated, that our resume will go out, and you will see my background even further. Aside from education, I am an entrepreneur. I own Grandma's Aprons. They're aprons that are built on really highlighting the ethnic foods of the different cultures that we have. I do have a patent pending with a Dimmy box for the students who are on the spectrum. I owned Greek restaurants and retirement homes with my dad and my family. We've owned buildings, and we did a lot of renovations. So my background is not just in education. My background is in entrepreneurship, business, and we've had great success in that because we did have a vision. There's a leadership, there's a follow-up, there's an accountability, and there's a transparency. So I would be honored to be part of the board and to serve in that capacity as well. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person, Lee Seligman. Lee?
Good evening, all. My name is Lee Seligman. I live in the B building. I am relatively new here, probably about 2 years or so. I am a general contractor here in the state of Florida. I've lived here since 1969. When my family moved down, I grew up down here. I went to school down here. I went to University of Florida, got a degree in construction. I've been doing general contracting for 41 years now, and I would love to bring my years of experience to the table to help around here in Grandview. Owning my own business, serving on numerous boards, whether it was a synagogue or advisory board for the city. I've done a number of volunteer jobs, so I think that helps me gear up and have the vision for what we have here. In addition, as I said, I'd like to bring my general contracting experience to help around Grandview to improve our home, so it doesn't look like a project and it looks like something we can all be proud of. It's our home, bottom line. We shouldn't be embarrassed driving up or walking through the halls. We shouldn't have people be embarrassed to come visit us and put blinders on until they walk through the door into our apartments, which are obviously much nicer. So I would love to bring that to our residents. And again, I want to emphasize, and you'll see in my resume when it comes out, that I'm not looking to spend needless dollars. A lot of these things can be done within the budgets that we have now, provided that things are done more efficiently. So I hope that you will take the time to read my resume, read my thoughts and hopes and dreams for our home here, and vote for me when the time comes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee. The next person, is Sandra on, Joan? Yes or no? Just shake.
Sandra said she was. She said she was. I don't
Okay.
know. Is
If
she on?
she's on, Sandra Tavlin, if you're on,
She told me got it.
It
Okay.
shows that she's on. If you look at the participant list, she is on there.
Sandra,
But
it's your
she's
turn to
muted.
speak.
She has to unmute herself.
What?
she can unmute. I don't,
She's waving, but I
oh,
don't know
I
if
see
she
it.
knows how
Okay,
to.
I see it.
I don't
Okay,
know if she knows how to unmute
Okay.
herself.
I'm going to unmute yourself, Sandra. You there? Okay, go ahead. You're on, Sandra. Go. Don't hear you. Your speaker is not working.
You may need to unmute her if you can.
She's unmuted. She's not muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we got you now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm heartened by what I am hearing from the other residents and candidates. I would like to bring my intense people skills to Grandview and make it more of a community. I've lived in Florida all my life. I watched Grandview being built from my family home around the corner, and I couldn't wait to move in here because I knew what a fabulous place it is. And I have not been disappointed. I do not socialize much with the other residents here because of the way these buildings are separated as they are. We haven't had much of an opportunity to have socialization, but it would be nice if we had more of it. And also committees that would promote positiveness, if there is such a word, positive things that that happen here. My background is I was a social worker, primarily for senior citizens for 20 some odd years with the state of Florida. And I also have a degree in education from the University of Miami, which I taught corrective reading for several years. Also, I had a real estate license because that was the family business, and I did sell and buy properties for the community and for others. I look forward to working with others, residents of Grandview, because I feel that there's a lot of talent here that is not being utilized properly or utilized at all. And I would appreciate your vote. I really don't have much else to say, but I'll be happy to answer questions from you. I'm in this C building, the one that the dumpster's outside my window and has been there for 6 weeks, and I don't know how to get rid of it. But there are a lot of things that could be done, and there's a lot of positiveness. I'm making up a word, but my goal is to do as much as possible with what we have to accomplish as much as possible. So I appreciate your time and your effort, and I would look forward to working with you and meeting with you as soon as we can to get things going, get the ball rolling, so to speak.
Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Herb Schloss is next.
Hello there. Oh. Oh,
You're
am I-
unmuted.
Okay. Hi, I'm Herb Schloss. I moved into Grandview 5 years ago. I moved from New Jersey into Florida and have enjoyed my 5 years here. But I have been a CPA for the last 50 years. I was working for a firm in New Jersey as a CFO for 42 years. I know budgets. I know I know everything about accounting. I do now also assist in running the accounting and administration in a condo in South Florida. So I'm well aware of what goes on and how to take care of things. This past year, I decided to get active, and I asked for the financial statements for Grandview. It took me a while, but I finally received them. I reviewed them. I made up questions, asked questions. I then get a letter from the attorney for Grandview telling me that I am asking too many questions, and I'm just supposed to have one question a month because I'm disturbing the administration. I then decided, you know something, I think it's more important for me to get on the board so that I can finish my audit and also turn things around so that the budgets are accurate, the financing is accurate. I also was on the board of a bank in New Jersey, so I know about financing that way. I think I'm the right person at the right time to take over as a board member. I do have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, so and I enjoy playing golf. Other than that, hey, vote for me and you will get statements, you will get everything known what's going on at Grandview, which is important. That's what it's about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Herb. The next one will be Sue Snyder. Unmute. I asked you to unmute.
Okay,
Okay.
there I am.
Gotcha.
Great. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sue Snyder. I've lived here going on 3 years. And from the time that I've moved in, I love being here. I love the people. I love my apartment. I love the big closets. I love less some of the conditions here that seem to be deteriorating when you walk around. The roads need a lot of work. The wall obviously is being worked on finally. Why is it being worked on finally? Because the city forced us to do it. And it's a great shame because there is so much beauty here and so much potential that I am hoping that can come about. As I am part of the platform committee that sent you the letter, I believe the most important points that we've made are that the board must be transparent, that every action of the board should be available to all of the unit owners, that they could ask questions about them, that those actions can be justified. When we are spending money, we can let you know why we're spending money if you question that. What do we need to do? What is it going to cost? As Carrie said earlier, we are not looking to spend gobs of money. So we were going to work as much as possible with the existing finances to make that happen. The second thing that I think is lacking greatly here is communication. How many times, for example, have you gone down to the pool only to discover it's closed? How many times have you gone down to the gym wondering what it takes to get into the gym these days? We need communication of all of the events that are happening here, a pool opening and closing, a gym opening and closing, water being turned on and off, all sorts of things that people need to know. And as we have mentioned before, one way to affect that is to have a website. Social media is fine if people want to get on and exchange ideas, but a simple website, again, not an expensive proposition, where one can go on, see what's going on here, also be able to get to financial statements, past and present years, bylaws if you need to look them up there. It's one of the things that is mandated by Broward County and one of the things that we need to get up to snuff. My personal background is in data processing. I work for a computer software firm out of New York. We do software for unions and benefit trust funds. My role in that is programming, of course, because that's what we all do, but also program design. I sit with clients and we discuss their needs. What is it that they need to work efficiently? I suspect that there are areas here where those same skills could be applied so that we have a good database, for example, of owners. We could have on our database a job tracking system. Have you ever had a job started for you that didn't get finished, that someone was supposed to come back and paint, that someone was supposed to come back and do something else, that someone got dragged off in the middle to go do something else? We need to make sure that all of those things get done and get done properly and get signed off on. That could even be taken to the level of the maintenance staff, that they have certain tasks that they're supposed to accomplish each day, and that somebody will supervise them and make sure that those jobs get done properly. Every single meeting that I have attended since I am here, someone has complained that the maintenance staff or the security staff are sitting on their telephones all day. They're all sitting there talking, they're sitting there texting. So somebody, again, needs to be tracking what these people are doing. The other thing we need to do, it's very important, is to listen to the other owners and to listen to the other residents and to give them an opportunity to voice their opinions, to make suggestions, to speak. To that end, we want to have quarterly meetings at which other owners are welcome to come, where they can submit ideas that can be open to discussion. And while we don't guarantee that everything that's suggested is going to be a viable opportunity, it is very, very important that everybody be listened to here with courtesy and with respect. We have a very diverse community here. I think that's exciting. I'm glad I don't live in a seniors-only community. We have seniors, but we have seniors who are lively and knowledgeable and active in all kinds of things. We have younger people, we have wonderful children running around and the nice voices of children wherever we go, people who go out every day and work for a living and people who stay here. And all of these different groups their needs need to be met by the board and those that are running the Grandview. So I hope you will consider me for a post on the board, and I thank you for listening.
Okay, next, and one of the people who really kicked this whole thing off and really started a lot of the things is Joan Tashman. and she was mentioned in one of Mr. Durst's letters. So Joan, you're on.
Or maybe, good evening, my name is Joan Tashman, but maybe you would want to call me not the notorious RBG, but the notorious JST. That being said, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I do know many of you because I was instrumental when we were able to meet this summer. We had some meetings of concerned Grandview residents, and I did host those meetings. Also, over 50 residents willingly gave us their email addresses so that we could communicate with them any concerns, which I have been trying to do whenever something has come up. So many of you do know who I am. And now those of you who don't can put a name and a face together. I have lived in Grandview 24 years. And you may ask, why now? Because I have lived here a long time. Well, for over 30 years, I've been in the field of education, both in New York and here. I am a reading specialist with a master's degree in reading. Now I am retired. Therefore, I have time, and thank God I have energy. I am what you call a highly organized doer. I don't sit around. I do my best to get things accomplished in a very expeditious way. And I don't want to repeat what every single person has said so far. You can read more about us in our resume, but I do want to highlight a couple of things that I feel are worth repeating. I believe that every person who is on a board of directors should have an equal voice and an equal vote. That's number one. I believe that when people have a question or a concern and come to an office or email, each and every person must be treated with full respect. We don't have to agree. The board never has to agree with you, but they have to listen to you and respect your wishes. That is paramount. In my resume, I have pointed out things that when I was on Mr. Durst's good list, I worked with him and he asked me to please walk around the community, to point out things that I have seen, to provide him with a list of those items, which was done, to walk around with Luis, our head custodian, point those things out to Luis, hand him a list, and hopefully check them off. There were 12 things on my list. 3 of them have been done, 9 have not. But when I was on the good list, I'm just going to highlight some of the things I was able to accomplish. Years ago, we had building captains. That stopped for a while. And as you may know, at our very first face-to-face meeting, when we were allowed to meet in the atrium with masks and social distancing, I said we need to reintroduce building captains. Why? They're free. It's eyes and ears, people walking around to see things that others may not. And they report back to someone and tell them what is going on, and hopefully it is handled. Well, right now we do have building captains from what I understand. And as Carrie said, I for one am clueless as to who the captain is. And not that I really need to know their name, but what I do feel is we as unit owners have a right to communicate something we may see that they may not. And I had a suggestion that in our mailroom, we put some form of drop box where we can put, when we go get our mail, and we all get mail eventually, we could put a little note in to our captain. And if the captain has already taken care of it, he or she can rip up the note and throw it in the trash. If they haven't taken care of it, they can go look at what might be the problem and handle that. I presented it and I was told no. Okay, moving on. Some of the things that I have instituted other than the captains are the following. I encourage Murray to hire women to clean because in my opinion, women see details that men don't. And by having some women who are cleaners, that releases the men to do more of the heavy maintenance. He did hire 2 women. So technically the women are cleaning and we have 2 other people doing maintenance. Another very important thing that was instituted, which just seems like logic to me because every other community I go to has this. When you pull into the community, if you've never been there before and you stop at the gatehouse, one would be handed a map. The gatehouse would ask you, are you familiar? Do you know where you're going? We did not have that. We only had a pass. Murray was thrilled with that. He immediately took the passes, had a map made on the back of our pass, so that when you come to the community, if you stand there and say, I don't know where to go, with any luck, the guardhouse is going to say, make a right, what is your building? They circle it and show them what they're doing. Easy, no money, very simple. Unfortunately, there were a couple of almost serious mishaps with people going the wrong way on a one-way. 2 people almost got into very serious accidents. So I called Murray and I said, Murray, you need to put some extra do not enter signs that are on the back of the stop sign so people don't enter, so we don't have liability. That was done immediately. Many of the things that I have suggested are safety issues, and he has agreed to them. So when Murray called me out in his recent tirade and said that some of my suggestions had merit and some were nonsense, I do beg to differ with that. But I'm not going to waste my time speaking about Murray. I'm only here to speak about me. In my resume, I suggested no meetings in the middle of the day. Why? As Sue pointed out, we are a diverse community. If you would like to attend a meeting and you're working, no one expects you to take off at noon to go to a meeting. Therefore, meetings should be held 7:30 in the evening, allowing whoever would like to attend the opportunity to do so. I also suggested that we have open quarterly board meetings where residents can submit questions prior to the meeting so that the board can look them over. And then when COVID ends, invite you to a meeting whereby the board will do their best to answer and address your concerns. And once again, I also said as others, committees, such as screening committee, fining committee for infractions, beautification, social, whatever the community wants. And most of all, I agree with the fact that personally, I have lost a degree of pride in this community. I want to pull in the front entrance and be proud of my home. When I moved into Grandview 24 years ago, Grandview was this little gem. It was the jewel of Emerald Hills. In my opinion, the jewel is now turned into a rhinestone. And we, as a community, can fix this. And we're all a part of this. We want to make this a community atmosphere. We want everyone to feel valued and respected. Furthermore, when this community was built in 1980, many people that moved in here were moving from large homes within the Emerald Hills area. Our apartments are huge. We have walk-in closets. If you want, you can have a full-size washer dryer. You have screened in balconies. You have underground parking, and we are undervalued. We are undervalued for what we have and our prime location. This should not be. We should be changing some of these things, and some of them will not cost you out of your pocket. Because if it comes from your pocket, it comes from mine as well. So please, please be aware of that. You can read more about all of us. Hopefully within a week, you're going to be getting everybody's resume. I just want you to be aware of the following. You will be allowed to vote for up to 5 people. Now, that doesn't mean you have to write in 5 people. If your heart tells you I'm voting for 4, vote for 4. 3, vote for 3. 5, vote for 5. It is your right and discretion. The 5 top votes are the people who get on the board. It is then the board that decides who holds what office. So I want you to be really clear that you're going to see, from what I'm understanding, 13 names. Of that, you can pick up to 5. Okay? I also want to say one thing. From what I'm understanding via Murray, there will be a licensed CAM manager, which is a property manager, not a management company, a manager in the office, handling the day-to-day needs of the community. This is not coming from me. This is coming from Murray, and he even put it in one of his letters. This hopefully will happen in early January. Okay, I hope so. But anyway, here's one interesting factor. Last Tuesday, prior to Thanksgiving, Murray called me. And Murray has said to me more than once, Joan, not only do I want you on the board, I am going to vote for you. Now remember, this was Tuesday. Okay. Then he said to me, I'd like to ask you a question. Please answer yes or no. I said, okay. And he said, if you don't get on the board, would you still be willing to help? And I said, Murray, I don't understand your question. What have I been doing all along? I said, I don't have an ego trip, Murray. If I'm not on the board, that's fine. But if someone would like me to help or be in a committee, I'm happy to do so. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to be a part of Grandview, to help make it a place where we're all involved, happy, as someone else said, I believe Dorina, happy to come home. Particularly if you work, you want to come home. This home should be, as they said, your happy place. You rest and you enjoy. So when Murray asked me that question on Tuesday, I didn't quite understand, because yes, I've always been willing to help, and I haven't changed that despite what Murray has said about me. However, I'm above that. I'm a lady, and I cannot waste my time responding to things of that nature. I refuse to lower myself to those standards. I hope that you will consider voting for me. I promise if you do, I will work towards goals of making you proud of your community. And we will all see what happens on January the 6th. That is the day of our Zoom voting, because due to COVID, we will not have a face-to-face annual meeting. Murray has hired someone from the DBPR. That person, he or she, is going to be doing the ballots with a staff that he or she brings in. And we will Zoom in order to see who wins the election. If you choose to speak to me, most of you do have my email, so you can contact me via email. I'll be happy to try to answer any further questions you have. Until then, have a wonderful evening. I'd like to be considered for your vote.
Thank you, Joan. I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Carrie Franco, and I am the owner of A601, according to the letter that Mr. Durr sent out. So everybody should know I live in A601. And yes, I was the one that sent out all the letters to everyone and did it, and with help of Joan and the other 5 people. So I'm just letting you know that. I've been living here with my wife, Eve. We've been living here now over a year and a half. We bought the place back 2 years ago, and we moved down back in December of last year because Eve retired and I'm still working, but I work for a company that right now I'm working for a company of $1.5 billion company, and I'm one of their business development managers. I worked for other companies in operations and general manager over the past 44 years. That's my experience. I have a BA in economics and a minor in accounting, and also in finance. So I've been working with different budgets, different negotiations. I negotiate with steamship lines. I negotiate with airlines all the time. Even with union contracts, I've negotiated. So these are things that I know how to do and I know how to get done. I do have good management experience with budgets. I know how to work with budgets because I work with a budget right now over these 20 years that I've been with one company. I work on a very, very big budget that's over $1 billion right now. So I do work with budgets. If I'm elected to the board, I plan to work together and coordinate with the board members and work as a team. You have to have a team to be successful. If you don't have a team, you can't run anything. You can't just have one person doing it. In baseball, you have 9 guys on a team. In basketball, you have 5 guys on a team. In football, you have 11. And each 11 guys help get to the other end. And that's what it is. It's a team effort that we have to do here. And I feel there's some things that we have to do. We need infusion of new ideas into this community and into this board. We have to move into the 21st century. We're not moving into the 21st century here. We stay stagnated here. And I hope by you voting for me, I hope to get us into that 21st century of what we need to be here in this board. We have to be very, very transparent in a board to the members and the owners of the condo. We have to be transparent. That's #1 priority, I think, with everybody. We have to know where every penny is going. If we have a $2 million budget that is put out, every person in this community should know exactly where that $2 million is being spent and why it's being spent. That's the most important thing. Why is $2 million being spent and where is it going? That's very, very important. Each board member should play an active role in what is happening in the community. It means maybe taking over a committee, maybe helping out with supervising the maintenance staff, supervising security, supervising something, or following up on different things that are happening in the community. It's up to each board member to take on a job so that everybody understands what's going on here and they understand what's happening. So if any resident comes to them, they understand what is going on and they can answer that question very on a timely manner to them. I'm confident if I'm elected, I could help accomplish these goals that we're looking to set and everything. We're not doing scare tactics. We don't want to scare anybody like people are saying we're trying to scare people. We're not scaring people. It's our investment here. Everybody invested money into their condo, from anywhere from 150 to 300,000, whatever you've invested here. It's your life savings. It's your money. It's your property. And if you owned a home, it would be the same way. You own this property together. We own it together, and we have to run it together. You have people that will make decisions, but they have to make it together with you and help and show you what we have to do on these things. There's things that have been done here that are not done properly, and we've pointed them out to the board. And that's why you've been getting letters from the board lately, from one person from the board. You got another letter from a lawyer for basically a lawsuit that we have. And that is a law that they have to let us know that it's over $100,000, that we are supposed to know that we are being sued as a condo, because we're all liable for that $100,000. So everybody is aware. We're liable for those things. So you should all be aware. It has nothing to do with foreclosures or anything like that. It means that you have a lien. We have a lien on the property of Grandview, is what it means, of $100,000. So that everybody's apartment has a lien on it. So you couldn't get a mortgage. You would have to pay that money or the lien, whatever your portion is, to get whatever you need for your property. So I'm just letting you know, we're not doing scare tactics. We don't run scare tactics. I don't believe in that. And I don't believe, everybody has to be treated with respect and not be treated like a person that runs in a truck yard or a schoolyard. Everybody must be respected. And that's the way I feel, and that's the way I will do if I'm elected to the board. Everybody should be respected on the board, whatever you have to do. And I hope that you pick me or pick whoever you would like over the next time when you vote, and think about it, of what you're voting for when you do. And think about what has been going on and what you feel you would want some changes here. So this is what we're doing. So I appreciate everybody being on. We have about 81 people on this chat, on this Zoom right now, which is very good. And we really appreciate it. I'll look at some of the questions on the chat right now and see what we could do. And see what some of the questions are.
So Carrie,
And
if I may?
Darina?
Yes, if I may, because I did see in the chat a lot of questions or some comments around Facebook, a suggestion.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to address that. We do have a very diverse group, and I think we need to provide options as to the best form of communication for our diverse group. So if it's a website that's mandated, we should have that up and running and updated, especially with reports that do come out for our committee. Facebook has to be updated if it's going to be functional. We could use Twitter. I saw the WhatsApp on there. We have reminders, we have text. I think we need to give the owners and residents of our community the option that best communicates to them. I'm a working mom. I hold many different positions. For me, for my example, for me, if I go and I follow a particular group, a Facebook group or a Twitter group, or if I get a reminder, it allows me real-time updates. And that goes to what Joan said. If the pool is closed, we need an update. If the gym is closed or we're having an issue, we need an update. It has to be real-time communication. I'm involved with many different groups that have many different websites. I am not going to go to every single website for me to get real-time information. I am going to want to follow, and I get an update and saying, what is the update? What's taking place at that time? So with regards to social media, I think that if we use it in a way that allows us to really communicate with our residents and allowing them to get real-time information, would be beneficial. And it should not just be one platform, there should be a myriad of platforms. But that also could go to our needs assessment. If we put out a needs assessment to our community, say, what are your needs? How would you like us to communicate with you? We're going to get more feedback to know to the direction that we need to take as board members. So that's so I just wanted to address that with regarding that.
Well, that's really moving into the 21st century, as I said. We have to move into the 21st century here in this community.
Carrie, may I say something? Yes. I do hear you, Darina, and I do respect what you're saying, but the website, which is mandated by the state, has to have certain things listed. The website we're initially talking about is a vehicle for communication from the board to us so that we know the latest information. There are other platforms that can be used for intercommunication from one resident to another, or people have said buying and selling. I said, that is not what the main Grandview website is for. It's so they can tell us in an update section, the pool is open, the pool is closed, the spa is open, the spa is closed. There are no lights, you get it. Whatever you need to know as a resident should be there. For example, I stood at my garage door a while ago and my key didn't work. I said, okay, I'm locked out. Little did I know they changed the lock, so I have to put in my key upside down. Now, how would I know that? Today I went to the gym. I could not get in the door. I said, did they lock the gym and not tell us? I saw Eddie, our maintenance worker. I said, Eddie, could you see if your key works? His key didn't work. So he said to me, there's a problem with the lock. I said, but there's no notice on the lady's door. How do I know? Or you're letting me in, which is fine. How about the next person? Are they going to know that the lock is broken? No. So you have to put a notice where strategically necessary, but most communication should not make our homes and our entry doors look like we're living in a dormitory with note after note and sign after sign. That is ridiculous. We need to have this website for communication, and for those people who are uncomfortable and are not willing to do that, we will figure out a way of communicating with those people. Now, someone just put up the EF elevator is always out of service. Well, I can't answer that right now. I'm not on the board. As a matter of fact, the irony is when Eddie spoke to me this morning, he said, should I leave the gym door open? And I said, don't ask me, Eddie. I suggest you ask Victoria or someone on the board. I can't make that decision, should I leave the gym door open? But these are things that are nonsensical that we don't know about. And that's where the communication chain has a breakdown.
Also,
I'm done.
everybody should understand.
Not me.
All right. Okay. Everybody should understand this is not, we're not here to really go over a lot of things like that. We're here to introduce ourselves. We understand a lot of the problems that are here at Grandview. We understand things that don't always get done. We always have to go to the office a couple of times, maybe 3 and 4 and 5 times to let them know about things. We understand that. We are trying to get this place better, and that's why we're all running. And it's really up to you as the owners when you vote or tell your friends to vote how if you want it to change, then you have to vote for new board members. If you want it the same, you're going to vote for the same 5 that are there. 4 people do nothing and 1 person does it all. So it's up to you what you want as the owners of Grandview, of what it is. It's up to you guys. It's not up to us. And we're just bringing up what we want to do and how we think we could help. We put out a platform, I think is the right platform. The other board refuted some of the things we said, which are not exactly true, he says, but it is true. We didn't speak any falsehoods in any of our part of our platform. Our platform is exactly what is happening here at Grandview, and everyone on this Zoom right now understands it, what it is, and
Carrie?
That's what we're doing.
Carrie?
Yes, Sue.
Sandy?
Yes. Sandy.
Can I just make another comment on the website?
No, not yet. Wait a second. Let Sandy, I need Sandy to, Sandy, I'm going to unmute you. You could speak, okay? I'm asking you to unmute.
Will there be an opportunity for residents to be able to ask some questions either in writing and then have another Zoom so that we can find out a little bit more about each of you candidates in terms of your familiarity with certain things?
No.
The thing is that, hold on. Right now, the way things are, because we're not on the board at this point in time, we don't even know, Sandy, exactly what, we only know about a certain things that we have found out, but we're not 100% sure of what really is going on. We know right now the heaters in the pool are out for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. They're supposed to be fixing it. The guy was here today. I saw him and asked him that question. Like, we know about the 3 or 4 lawsuits that there is right now, and that was only uncovered because we looked up a website for it. There's a site. That would have been kept a secret from us. A lot of things are kept secret from us. So I can't tell you how, if you want to present questions to us, that's not a problem to present questions. We do have emails, you know, some of them. If you want to present any kind of question, or if you want to call any of us, I'd be more than happy to give my phone number out. I'll be, that anybody could. And if anybody wants, I would even meet anybody down by the atrium and we could sit by the side and we could discuss things if need be. I gotta unmute you, Sandy. Hold on. Okay, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think this community of what now 75, but were 81, I think they're in, all of those interested parties should be able to ask questions, hear questions, and learn from one another about certain things, because some people aren't familiar about Florida Statute 718 and the mandate in terms of a website. Some people aren't aware with respect to how would someone going forward, if there were another pandemic, God forbid, that we don't have somebody like someone that's currently on the board who did have something and was walking around. We need protections, and everybody, if we are a community, and if it's not going to be of a non-transparent nature, then I think the residents that are interested enough in considering a new board need to get to know some of where people stand, how you might think about dealing with properties that might be in arrears or foreclosures, how you would be looking to deal with negotiating contracts, and whether you would be looking to get multiple bids. I think there are a number of things that people would want to know. Are you thinking about managing it the way Murray did, without a management company or with a management company?
Well, the thing is, some of those questions, Sue, I have to say, we can't really answer at this point in time. And that's because we're not on the board.
You're running,
all right?
We have to vote for you.
I understand,
You know
but
where you're standing.
all right, where I stand right now, I'm not going to run, if I get on the board and if I become president of this board, I will not run it the same way Murray runs it. Will I try to get, he's already putting a building manager in here as of January. He's putting a building manager in.
But respectfully, Carrie and Joan and Lee and Mitch and Sandra and Sue and Dorina, the fact is, when we elect an official for the United States presidency, we get an opportunity to have debate, candidates debating and putting what they're thinking.
We've asked the 5 to come on. They didn't want to come on, Sandy.
Okay.
They didn't want to come on.
Just providing resumes, but not giving
All right,
us
the thing
where
is
you're
that-
really coming from.
May I?
Okay, where we're coming from, Sandy, I'll tell you where we're coming from. The coming is, we're going to be transparent with everybody. That's number one. Number two, do we need a management person in this place? Yes, we do need a management person in this place, because we have 10 buildings, 442 units a year. Okay, we do need a management person to run this place besides the board. And only person that person will report to the board, and then the board will report to the people, okay? To the owners of the place. If somebody is in arrears, you have to find out exactly why the person is in arrears. And that's part of the board's strategy to find out why they're in arrears and what is going on, and find out what's happening with their financial situations. That's part of the board itself to do, and that should be done right now according to what we understand. That's part of the bylaws of Grandview. There should be something happening with the board. So that's number 2. Number 3, we all have to become certified by the state in 90 days after we become a board member. So that's another thing we must do. So that's 90 days after we become a board member, we must become certified. I don't think anybody on that board is certified except maybe Murray. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, hold on a second, everybody. Let me just finish, okay? The 4th thing is, where we're coming from right now, we want to make sure that the money is being spent properly. And we don't think the money here is being spent properly, because we're looking at the budgets. We're looking at what the expenditures were over the last 2 years. That's all we have right now. And I don't think any of the budgets have been done properly. The budgets have been underfunded here. And that's what it has been done. I'm not saying that some of the things that he put in there is correct. You don't put $8,000 for uniforms when we don't spend $8,000 for uniforms. You might only spend $1,000 for uniforms. Maybe that $7,000 that's there in that budget should go to something else that we really need. So he pays Peter to give it to Paul, and Paul to give it to Peter. That's what's been happening in this place, okay? And everybody should understand here, we're here to fix that. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what we're going to find if we go in there. He doesn't tell anybody anything, okay? He runs it by himself. And that's the big thing. And everybody should understand that's what he does. He runs it by himself.
Carrie, I think
we don't know what kind of a Pandora box we're going to open up if we get on that board.
Carrie,
okay.
I think that the question Sandy is really trying to ask is, she wants to have a way to speak with all of us. And unfortunately, Sandy, because of the situation of COVID, that's not so easy. All of us, I believe, in our resumes, sent out our personal information so you can contact us. I realize asking each one of us the same questions is difficult, but it's difficult for us too, because we can't address everybody at the same time either. The situation isn't so easy today. We all want to answer your questions. The way we have to do it, though, is for you to approach us individually, unfortunately, because that's the nature of the situation we're in. We all are similarly inclined, but we may have different answers to your questions, and we certainly welcome you asking them. The idea is that this is not the forum for it, simply because we don't have it in such a way that we can do that. However, we're all making ourselves available to you personally and individually.
Why did
Carrie, may
Joe, go ahead.
I'm having an issue trying to put in my email address, and I apologize. Many of you have it from our concerned neighbors. Those of you who don't, if you have a pen and paper, I'll tell it to you. I will be delighted to do my best to answer any of your questions. I would like to inform you that when we spoke about meeting the candidates, I was told by many people, Susan Mann, you're one of them, that we have never, in the 7-8 years past, had a meet the candidates night. And many of you will agree. So I called Murray when we were on good terms. We were on good terms through Tuesday. On Wednesday, he put out another tirade, and you know and that's the end of that history. Anyway, moving forward, I called Murray and I said, Murray, listen, we'd like to have a meet the candidates night, and I'm not asking your permission because we're doing it on Zoom. And I think it would be lovely if all the people that are going to be candidates come on this meeting. And his answer to me was, I'm not. And I don't think the board will. And I said, are you speaking for the rest of the members of the board? And he said, no. He told me to call them. And I said, no, I do not have their numbers and I don't wish to call them. However, he told me to call Victoria. Victoria did call the 4 of the board members. She got back to me and said, of the 4 people that she approached, the other board members, thank you, Brenda, of the other 4 people, 3 of the 4 said no. 1 said maybe. That in itself, ladies and gentlemen, is extremely telling tonight. That they feel you know them and therefore they don't need to be here. I feel that's wrong. Some of you may have moved in very recently and no, you don't know them, like you don't know us. This is merely an opportunity for us to say a few words to you because within your ballot packet, you have a 1-page resume from each of us. Whereas Murray puts out a 5-page tirade, we only have the ability of 1 8x11 sheet of paper. So please be aware of that. Brenda posted, I believe Brenda just posted my email because I'm having a heck of a time to do it, but I will do my best to answer everything. I'm usually very good about it. Given a couple of days, I will do my utmost to get back to you. Although I'm not a business person, and no, I don't hold a degree in accounting, as I said, I'm organized, I live here, I have the time, and I am a doer. So that is my forte. I have the time to do this. I am retired. I care deeply about Grandview. For all the years I had Murray's ear, he called me his eyes and ears. On Wednesday, he called me other things, but that's not the point. When I was his,
Hold up. Let Dorena speak a second, okay?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. So Sandy Gordon, is it Sandy?
Yes.
So I think Ms. Gordon asked us very specific questions to the candidates. And I think she's asking, how prepared are we to step in the shoes if we're elected? The question is, what do we do? Is there a proprietorship? Are there norms? Are there processes? Are there procedures in place that we have to adhere to? And yes, there are. Coming from Broward County Public Schools, that's all we live by. We live by statutes, by norms, by procedures. So when there is a bid that goes out, we don't just bid it based on the lowest bid that comes in play. We have 3-4 bids. There is a process. There is an objective process that goes forward. So to answer your question, yes, there will be a bidding process that is transparent to whatever we decide to do. The question as far as the I know we're hooked up on this website. If it's a statute mandate, we follow the statute mandate. We are going to be in compliance. That is not to say we don't have additional needs that our community has that we would like to reach out and address. So to answer your question, yes, we have to be prepared to go in and understand their statute, there's mandates that we would follow. Coming from a school board, I feel that I could jump in immediately and address those and set norms and standards and procedures in place. That's where the transparency comes in. That's where the accountability comes in. I'm not going to speak about the previous board. They are who they are. They did what they did. We're not going to know enough what's going on until we get there. But you can trust, but you can trust that statutes would be followed, mandates would be followed, transparency would be followed, because that is a family. It needs to be brought to the table. We may not all agree, but we have to come to what is best for Grandview moving forward. I hope I answered, Ms. Gordon, your question.
Carrie?
I want to be a little bit more calm.
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold up. Stop 1 second. All right. Sue Snyder.
Okay, all right, I wanted to suggest, I think all of us have submitted our emails via the chat from the Zoom, if nowhere else. I was going to suggest, let's schedule another Zoom meeting in 2 weeks, which is still ample time before the holidays and before the vote.
Yes.
In the meantime, people can submit questions to us. We can answer them individually. We can also collate them, sit down and collate them and plan out what questions we think would be of concern to the majority of people, and then have another session.
Correct. We could do this on, if I'll set up another Zoom, we'll set up a meeting on a Zoom on December 16th, which is Wednesday, December 16th at 7:30. If this way we'll set it up, everybody will be involved. Again, we'll come back on the Zoom, we'll send out a note again to everybody, whoever it's the same Zoom number, the same password it'll be for everybody. So you could let everybody know again that it'll be on December the 16th at 7:30. And we'll meet then, and please submit your questions. You have pretty much everybody's email now on the chat. If you don't, if you want to submit questions, you could drop them off under my door here at 601A. That's more than happy, or wherever you need to do. I'll be more than happy to take them and do that. We are not, what we're doing here is we're trying to get things done the proper way. We're not trying to scare anybody. We're not trying to do any of that. We are trying to make this place a better, we're trying to make it better for everybody to live here. We want everybody to enjoy themselves. We want everybody to feel comfortable here and not walk on pins and needles here. We want people to have their grandchildren, if you have grandchildren, come here and stay with you and be able to do these, things around here. So that's what we want to do. So we're going to try to make it as a town hall, maybe. I'm not too sure, but it's very difficult with Zoom to make as a town hall. It's not that easy to do. Because of, if you have 80 people, 90 people on it, it's pretty difficult to do that. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to get everybody in and questions, and we'll have people answer the questions the best of the way we can and answer any questions you have of what we would do in situations or any other things that you're thinking of or what we could do. Especially when it comes to contracts, I think we need to get bids done. We need tremendous 3 or 4 bids to have in-house before we do any kind of major work here. We need to go over a lot of the contracts that are here that is in-house right now. There's contracts here we have to look at and see what's involved in these contracts. I don't know how we could even get out of them. For all we know, we might even need to go to get a new condo lawyer that is much more friendly for Grandview and not just for one person. So we might have to look into those things. Those are things that we would be looking into. There's a lot of contracts here that we don't know about as owners, and we should know about them. One is the people that are working on this wall, and these people that have been here for 4 years, we don't know what that contract states here of what it is and how much we're paying for that contract and what states on it and what they're supposed to be doing. Because every time we ask, why aren't they painting? They say it's not in the contract. And I don't know how that was possible, because he's trying to save a buck here, but he's making our guys work on the painting. So that takes away from our guys from doing other work. So these are things that we would all have to look at once we would get in, if we get in. I'm putting if, because it's up to you, up to the people to vote us in. So it takes a lot to do that. So everything is if. I can't tell everybody, or we can't tell everybody, we know of situations and how we would handle it. I know how I would handle it if a situation came up. If something major broke down and we don't have that much time, we have to get 2 or 3 bids in right away. We have to get it right away. Maybe the city could help us do some things. We never know. Because, you know, you have to make friends sometimes with the city and helping us to do things. So those are things that we have to look at. Maybe even now that Adam Gruber is now the commissioner, maybe Adam can help us with some things. So we might have a better relationship with those people, even in Broward County doing that. Those are things that I see. And also, I feel everybody has to be treated with respect, and people have to be talked to properly, not down to them, not like you're an idiot. You have to be spoken to properly in a business manner. And that's the way I feel it should be done. I don't feel people should be doing anything else. That's my feeling. Everybody should be doing that. I feel that these contracts we have to look at them very, very carefully, because we don't know what he has done. And I don't know what has been done by the board, especially when it comes to elevators, and especially when it comes to other things that are here, like the pool, the elevators, the extermination, roofing companies, or air conditioning companies, or whatever it is. We have to look at all these things. We're not privy to this right now, so we can't, some of those things we won't be able to answer of what we would do. Are we looking, we're not looking to spend any more money than we have to that's in that budget right now. If he has a $2.5 million budget, which he put in, that's the money we have, and that's what we have to use to figure out how can we pay for everything in that $2.5 billion budget.
Yeah, Carrie, if I may just say, we are all ready to jump in with both feet and hit the ground running. That if you all grace us with your votes and we end up creating a new board, that is the first, that is absolutely the first priority for all of us. Jump in, find out what's going on, find out what needs to be fixed, learn as much as we can, as fast as we can. Remake contacts with people in the city and the county and other companies who where relationships need to be mended. And that's really where we're holding.
May I say something, Carrie?
Yes.
Some of you realize we have some out-of-town owners. If that owner is your neighbor or friend, and you can reach them, and they ask you, what should I do? Because some people don't care, and they'll mark anything. If you care enough to speak to your neighbors or friends who live out of town, you may want to help them or guide them. That is your decision, so that we who do live here day to day can help the running of this place to make it better for all of us. Everyone was invited to this meeting. People declined because they felt that you already knew them. We're trying to be very open. We want to answer your questions to the very best of our ability. No, we don't know everything. We don't even know what we don't know, but we're willing to work and find out. Any of us who do get on this board will be certified, and it is mandated by 7/18 that the certification be posted. I have not seen one board member's certification on there to date. However, I'm not saying they're not. I'm only saying I haven't seen it.
Also,
It's
anybody
required.
that we do, Joan, also if we do hire a manager, that manager will be a CAM and licensed,
100%.
certified by the state of Florida.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
anybody who is doing that must be done. That's the law. Dorina?
Law.
Yes, thank you. I do want to bring to the table that I think that the board of directors themselves need to be held accountable to the residents. Meaning that if we are elected by the residents, that we are to be held to a standard.
Right.
And if that standard is not met, we should be censored and we should be suspended moving forward. As a group together, we have to have that accountability and that trust from our community. So just because we are elected doesn't mean it's a free-for-all. that we within ourselves have to be within compliance, within respect, and there has to be an accountability, and there has to be consequences if we do not fall into that. And I really think the community needs to feel that moving forward.
That is why, Dorina, that I had said, we very rarely have any board meeting, be it Zoom or otherwise. That is why in my resume, I said, we need to have some meetings whereby we as the residents can pre-submit questions and then welcome you to a meeting in the evening whereby we can hopefully address your concerns. That's number one. Also, when you elect a board does not have to make every decision by informing you every step of the way. The idea is you are electing them to represent you. But on the other hand, because we do represent you, I feel it is essential that we do let you know, let's just make up something, like if it was the fence, let's just say it was the fence, and we are getting bids. We have to let you know we're interviewing bids from 3 or 4 concerns, so on and so forth, what it's going to cost you, what does the job entail. Unfortunately, we were just told, ladies and gentlemen, there is an assessment in September. We're going to be doing the fence, the guardhouse, and the asphalt, pay the assessment. There wasn't a breakdown. There wasn't information. What is exactly what is happening? I have a problem with that. Therefore, I feel, and I agree with you, Dorina, it necessitates that the board is open, shares everything with you. Now remember, we've got 442 units. You can't listen to 442 opinions, but you can listen, but you can't be as diverse to say, okay, forget it. The board must make a decision, but I think each and every one of you has that right to be informed. And by the way, when you do have contracts submitted, the one that is honored has to be public. That is also part of the statute. You have to know, as a resident, exactly what this company A is going to be doing for you. It is in 718. By the way, as community members, it wouldn't hurt any one of you to learn a little bit about the Florida Statute 718, which is all about the Condominium Act. Okay? It's condominium and cooperative act. Obviously, we're a condominium. But you can, in your spare time, you could look up the condominium.
Look at it. It's very big. It's very long. Joan and I have been really studying it a lot and going over it. And to tell you the truth, a lot of things that have come out and a lot of things that have been done over the last months is because we stated certain things that were in 718 to the board. And by us stating these things to the board about 718, he had to go and get it done and make sure it was done the proper way. That's why you're getting all these notices now from him about things, because we went to him about 718, what it was with 718, and that's why this is being done. Just so you know, we've been working behind the scenes with him, trying to get things done. As much as he goes in a tirade, I've had meetings with him, Joan has had meetings, and every time it's yes, 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 and whatever you need, whatever you need. And then he does it, and then later on he will try something else. But I'm just saying that he knows we are aware of these statutes, and when it can, I'm pretty sure nobody has the password to get into the website. There is you could ask Victoria for it, and she will give you everything for the website to go on and then get in. And then you will see on that website, it has our bylaws on it. It has all the rules and regulations on it, and it has like 3 years of different financials on that website. That's all that is on that website. You
Can I
could
make one statement, please?
for Victoria to get, and everybody should get it and have access to it. They cannot deny you that. That's part of 718.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herb.
Yeah, I just want, the one thing that I was able to find out was from the original contract that we had the large assessment on, the first add-on increase was 50% greater than the original estimate. So something's wrong when you hire someone and all of a sudden you're finding out that they're almost doubling the price of the job. So that just shows something's wrong. That's all I could say.
Could that have been the fact that they uncovered the rebar problem in the first building?
Well, yeah, probably, but still, it still comes out to they shouldn't, they still should have known more than they did.
Well, what they should have hired was an engineer to open up a wall in a 40-year-old building prior to find out.
Well, they didn't. They didn't. Yeah, I'm saying that's where a major problem of dollars and cents lie, and that's where the monies were used from other things that should have been done. They were put into here, where he said, "Well, I covered it by myself. Don't worry about it." Yeah, he moved money around. That was the thing,
Yeah. So those are things when I'm saying budgets are not done properly, and this is something we would want to work on. This is something we want to do right away. We will follow 718 to the law and to the max of what has to be done according to those laws and rules and regulations of the state of Florida. And we have, I think by us, if we get elected, I think by trying to iron out some of the relationships that have been, sort of broken, especially with the city of Hollywood and Broward County, and trying to fix them a little bit and trying to help us out, I think will work. And I think that alone will be something that we should look at. Also, we will meet again on December 16th at 7:30. The same Zoom number, the same password, and because it's now 9 o'clock and it's a little bit more than an hour and a half that we're on. So I just want to say thank everyone for attending, and please let everyone know again about the meeting on December the 16th at 7:30. And please have your questions prior to that to us, so that we can answer them for you in a proper manner.
Carrie, can we give a date where we need the questions so we could look at them?
Let's have all the questions in by December 10th, which is Thursday. December 10th, and this way it gives us a little bit of time to answer your questions.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Joan. Thank everyone. Have a great night. Be safe.
Be safe, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good night, all. Thank you for attending.